So now the question is, did Nabi know that the attacks were coming, like people were going to parliament and everything? I don't know if he knew, but it was clear, unless he was ignorant.
But Calvin,
yes.
Si Nabii na simse ni msewa Biblia.
Sasa ndio nimempiga verse hapa ndio ajikumbushe.
Okay, so I'll just checking.
I think they'll try and divide the youth, and this is, I guess, one of the talking points hopefully we'll get to. But I think they'll try and divide the youth, especially the ones mobilizing people back home. Just divide and conquer strategy. So just try and pay off others that they can pay off to confuse the protest. Silence others where they can be silenced, whether it's physically or kuweka ndani kiasi and then kuachilia. I don't think they'll do the right thing, which, from what I'm seeing from this government and Ruto, I don't think he will go the right way. I surely hope he could, or he does, because the country does need a leader who's competent and who can change Kenya for the better. But I honestly have very little hope in after that speech. Even after the next one alitoa the next day akiringa ati ametuma watu Qatar na Saudi, like it's a good thing. Vijana wataki kwenda Saudi na Qatar. We are creative, we are skilled, we want to build our own country. Even the same for all of us. I believe all of us have a dream to go back home and build our nation. I'd much rather work with my people. I do software engineering, so I'd much rather work with my own people creating pieces of software. That's how America got to where it is. The companies like Microsoft, Apple, zilianza juu ya watu kujenga start their businesses, and that goes to the other tax conversation that we're having, that they need to reduce taxes so entrepreneurship can grow and businesses can grow and capitalism can start maturing, because we're not even at that stage to be taxing people as much as we do. But that's another conversation. There's so many conversations to have. But the point is, I have zero faith in this government currently. I don't think Ruto and the government will make the best decision. And that's why my stance bado ni Ruto must go.
And not to go tribal, but both you, Roba, and you come from a community where Ruto got almost 100% support, so, and you guys are out in the front lines, which, for a moment I was worried for the two of you. How's this, whatever is happening in Kenya right now, how are, people who support Ruto out here in the diaspora, the diehards, what's their feeling? What are they saying? Are they cracking, or are they just keeping quiet right now because this is loud and they'll come back to support him again? Or what's happening there?
First of all, there was a comment about Isaac Mwaura Najua.
Yes.
So I want to make it, this is, people turn things around sometimes or misunderstand and then twist them. This is politics. So to state categorically, I'm not classifying people who are suffering from albinism as mocking them by saying tumewachia jua. But this is particularly Isaac Mwaura, and the reason, if you are an advisor to the president, mwana watu wamekataa finance bill, you are the people who actually in the recent allocation they had 1.1 billion for advisory. So if you cannot advise the president to go with the mood of the nation after receiving reports from the NIS and such telling you the ground is slippery and everything, until people die, snipers are used and everything, ndo mnaambia president sasa ni kama imeumana, you can turn it around. Then I have no regrets to say it, if you wish suffering on the sons and daughters of other Kenyans, then we can as well wish you the same. But that is particularly in Isaac Mwaura. Going forward, talking about William Ruto, mimi kwanza nilikuwa msewa bosi mbaya sana. Nilikuwa namuita bosi. So mimi actually I drove when he was coming to Tumaini before the elections. I drove from Tennessee to come and see Mr. William Ruto.
God damn it. All the way from Tennessee.
Zoo is in town. The general is around now. You're coming through.
Tennessee. That's
Tennessee.
like 10 hours.
That's like 12 hours actually.
Oh, damn.
12,
okay.
13.
Yeah.
But then why was I making the trip? So I actually happened to come from Elgeyo Marakwet, and at that time we were suffering a lot from the banditry attack. So we were watching women and children at school being attacked and everything. And so I drove all the way and I rose up and I actually spoke. And one thing I talked to Mr. President about was mambo ya banditry, and most common was there who actually happens to be in more closer to the region that is facing the banditry attacks. So I talked about the banditry. You know, those people, they don't have much. I mean, honestly, when you don't have security, then you don't even have any economic activity that is sustainable, because attacks here and there, ng'ombe zinaibwa nini. So the little thing that these people had is hope. So they are sending their kids to school to get educated, and hopefully things get better. And that is the dream of every parent. You know, you see your kid, umeona maisha imekuwa ngumu, then you just nurture him to grow with education so that they can change the situation back then. But then bandits were coming around, robbing and doing all that stuff. Number two, the famous Kamarin Stadium, which was mentioned in the campaign very much. And actually, it was said to be in Kapenguria, but no, it is in Iten, my hometown. And I was also talking about the runners in Kenya. The runners have brought so much glory to the country.
To Kenya, yes.
But then Kamarin, which is Iten, at the home of champions, watu walikuja wakachimba chimba for, you know, to be platforms for getting contracts and dishing out money, and then they left it. People could not even practice on it anymore. They had to walk all the way down to Tambach, which is like 20 kilometers away, to go and practice. And mind you, if you stayed within athletes back uko nyumbani, most of them don't really have, like, you know, all the money to purchase all these supplements and shoes and everything. They just run by hope, because it's like 1,000 of you running,
yes,
and a few of you get the prize.
Yes.
So you just run, just hoping that one day milango yako itafunguka. Now these people, they had to walk like 13 kilometers, then go warm up, and then do workouts, which are actually crazy, and then walk back home. So that's why I did all that road trip to come and represent my people and tell them, come on, there's the guys in Egleo Marakwet, they have this and this. I mean, it's a lot of things, but I had a short period of time to talk. So those were the two things that I spoke about. Talking about the ground imekuwa slippery. Actually, one of the MPs, Gideon Kimayo from Keo South, leo alikuja Twitter akasema, mazee, mnisame muni Kalenjin, akasema munipige na kiboko konde. Next time nitasikiza ground, and I will do as per your wishes. And you know, William Ruto is a very good student of Robert Greene. I mean, if you read the 48 Laws of Power, law number 7, it says, let people do the work, then take all the glory for it.
Take the credit. Yeah.
Now this guy, umefanya ma MP huko, there's been so much animosity on the ground, then baadaye you come turn it down, ati ndio watu waseme, umse ametusikia. Ma MP wamesukuma, wamelazimisha, lakini amerudisha. But now this is another generation. These are people who've been following up, they've been looking at what you are doing, and they know you're just playing tricks. And I'll come with 3 quotes. Number 1, in the Art of War, Sun Tzu. Unajua kuna mtu amesema hapa, Ruto hakuwa anajua hii mambo when they were attacking with the NIS.
Yeah.
And Sun Tzu in the Art of War says, if words of command are not clear, then
you are the last party in the conference.
No, go ahead.
Okay, if words of command are not clear and distinct, then the problem is with the Major General. Number 2, hii ni yetu ya Kiswahili, wanasema samaki akioza anaoza kutoka kichwani.
Yeah.
Number 3, na hii ndio bosi anapenda, Nabii.
Yeah.
I will tell Nabii, Proverbs 11, chapter 11 verse 14, and it says, where there is no guidance, people fall, but in abundance of counselors there is safety. So now the question is, did Nabii know that the attacks were coming, like people were going to parliament and everything? I don't know if he knew, but it was clear, unless he was ignorant.
But Calvin,
yes.
Si Nabii na si mse ni msewa Biblia.
Sasa ndio nimempiga verse hapa ndio ajikumbushe.
Okay, so I just checking.
Ndio ajikumbushe. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, if you look at the president, who is he surrounded by? You know, we have people like David D. The other day we were complaining about taxes, and these were guys who allocated 1 billion to advise the president. Jamaa akasema, we are not listening to whatever you are saying. You either wait to 2027 or you overthrow the government if you wish so.
Yes.
Those are people surrounding the president.
Kiburi.
Now, how do you lead? How do you lead with people like that around you? There's no way. We go to the whole start why the finance bill is having a lot of, controversy and everything. So we are telling Mr. President, the simple role of business in government number one, make sure there's an enabling environment for businesses to prosper and people to come in. Now, if you look clearly at the president, Prezo ni kama ameamua mambo watu wafanyia nyinyi ni kuexport labor tu. Anaenda huko anakuja kusema nimeongea na watu, tunahitaji watu hapa tunatuma. But now mind you, there are different, I mean there is advantage of doing that, and one of them is brain drain. Because at the end of the day you end up losing skilled workers in your country and things like that.
Yes.
And we look at last year, for example, Jumia deliveries, hao ni watu wamekuwa Kenya for a long time. They closed up and they packed and went. Now ndio watu walikuwa wanalipa a lot of taxes. Because now if you keep cutting on income taxes on a biashara, you create an hostile environment for businesses to grow, then you'll just end up recycling revenue. Una collect tax, unalipa wananchi, una collect donor, what will be left apart from the ADA which are collected from the e-citizen and things like that. So you're telling the president, you've tried so much with tax rises, and what has happened is businesses have left the country, startups have fallen down. So why don't you try tax cuts? Like, for example, Kennedy in 1953 in the United States, alifanya tax cuts, and what does that do? It means there's less that is required for for people to start businesses, entrepreneurs to start businesses. And other investors come in because they see, that is a good place to invest because there are no harsh taxes.
Yes.
So when they come in, then you collect taxes from them, you get the money. You create employment opportunities for the people, and you get the money from there. But now, this guy is not doing that. He just wants to increase taxes and taxes, but you are chasing investment away. Investors are not coming in. And actually looking at Kenya, it is at a very perfect time for investors to come in. And that's why it's been termed as the Silicon Savannah.
Yeah.
Everyone is looking at it. But now, if you don't structure the taxes in such a way that they are accommodative to investors who want to come in, then you are not getting nothing out of it. And we actually, if you look at the startups in Kenya, if you look at these tech forums where they crowdfund for startups, Kenya has had one of the most successful startups stories, whereby wasa wanakama hapa, wanakam na innovative technologies, walami wanacheki or any other investor wanasema hii idea ni fit, itashika, let us contribute to it because it's a good idea, design ya Shark Tank. But then what happens, you realize getting there, almost all of them fail. Why? Because there's no employment. You are not putting money to the people, because at the same time, if you don't let businesses have a good time setting up, if you don't create employment, even when foreign investors come in, there's no money in the pockets of the people. There's no purchasing power.
There's no purchasing power.
Now, and when there's no purchasing power, the businesses can't sell.
Yes.
And when they can't sell, then they pack and leave.
I think also to add to that, kuna issue ya brown envelopes, because everybody wants a little
rent
cut.
Seekers.
Yeah.
Rent seekers everywhere.
So like if Kelvin wants to have a startup, before he's able to even able to set it up, there are people, there are hoops that he has to go through in order to set it up, because he'll be called for a meeting, Then it's like, there's no point of me doing this. I might as well just go to either a neighboring country where I'm not going to be hammered on taxes.
Yes.
Exactly.
But it has been an issue.
Yeah, rent seekers, like, and they're all over the place. So many comments have been coming in, but before I read the comments, I want to remind the listeners that you tuned into the One Mic Show. I'm your host and producer, Ali Badawi, and in studio tonight, we have the organizers of the DMV Reject Finance Bill 2024 protests. We have Val, we have Roba, and we have Kelvin. Our second protest is scheduled for this coming Sunday, the 30th of June, at the Kenyan Embassy in DC. We also have multiple protests that happened in Dallas, LA, and New York, and many more cities are coming up. So stay tuned to find out where and when they are. People have already been commenting, so please drop a comment there and let us know if there's a protest happening near your city. And then we'll shortly be asking if Ruto's presidency will survive. So stay tuned for that, because this is a very seismic moment for him. Our lines are open. Number to call 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak.
And I think listen, when you call the number, please press *5.
Yeah, press *5. So
that will let me know that you want to say something. But if you're just calling, I will not know you want to say something.
Your hand will be raised. But before we continue, and before we continue reading these comments here, just stay tuned. I'm going to read all your comments. Val, please remind us of the plan for protest this coming Sunday, because we don't want anyone to miss it. Val.
Okay. It's at 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Kenyan Embassy. It's going to be hot, so wear the Kenyan colors. You don't necessarily have to wear black. Pack a sunscreen, come with water. We are thinking of doing a vigil. So
Mishuma.
Mishuma, come na roses pia if you can. And just come with energy. That's all we want, energy. This is our opportunity right now here at the Diaspora to actually make an impact.
Okay.
And to, turn the game around.
Yeah. Okay, Mika, you had something you wanted to say real quick before I go back to the comments?
No, there was a guy on Sunday who came. There was a guy on Sunday who came from Williamsburg, Virginia. I hope he comes back.
Yes, the guy from Williamsburg. I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, I mean, and he was the one who was hyping the crowd. Yes, I mean, like there was a number of people. Then there was another guy. I don't know whether he's from Baltimore. Alikuwa na rungu ya Masai.
Maina.
Yeah, Maina. Yes, so these people, like they came with so much energy. Oh my goodness. I mean, this was of course a sad protest, but these guys made it so much fun. And the other interesting thing on the Sunday protest, we had Haitians coming, because Haitians, there's this issue of Kenya sending its police officers there. We're going to be talking about that shortly. We had a Ghanaian journalism student who came in. We had a South African who came in. All these people are just excited, and this is inspiring a lot of their countries. So before I go to the comments, we have a caller. Do I read the comments first, or we go to the caller first?
Let's go to the caller, because I think the caller's not been pressing *5, but he's been calling and calling. So thank you for calling the One Mic Show 5483.
Please let us know your name and tell us where you're calling from. Caller.
My name is Gidros.
I'm
calling from PA.
What part of PA are you calling from, Gidroff?
I'm calling from Harrisburg.
Okay. Talk to us, Gidroff.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm here. I'm trying to organize guys to come over. We are quite a number of us, and we were trying to. We are thinking of coming there next week. And our sheikh says there's a protest on Sunday. What I'm asking is, do you guys really realize there's a lot of anger on the ground, and thousands of people really wanna go to Washington D.C. So my idea is this: why don't we find a way of reaching out to the many Kenyans in the Northeast? The more we are, the better.
Okay, Gidroff.
I'm just
yes, Gidroff, hata nikuulize swali, because I know Pennsylvania. I mean, I know a bit of Pennsylvania because I live in Maryland, 1 hour from the line of Pennsylvania. I live in a part of Maryland called Germantown, which is 1 hour from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I know if you live in Harrisburg, we are talking about you have people from Lancaster, Pennsylvania that are not too far from you.
Exactly.
And then I'm not sure how far Lancaster is. I know that's another area that has a lot of Kenyans, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. There's also an area called Allentown Pier. So I mean I don't quite know the distances, but are these areas that you're familiar with?
Very, very familiar. I've been living here for almost 20 years.
Okay. Now what about Pittsburgh? How far are you from Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is a bit far. Pittsburgh is 5 hours from us.
Okay. So that's quite a distance. Okay.
Yes.
So what's the plan? Are you planning to, mnakuja watu kadhaa, or how many people, for example, have confirmed with you that they're going to be coming this Sunday? Or did you just hear about this protest in DC?
No. First of all, I just came across this. I was just online looking for something, what is happening. So I came across this. But at least today we have set up a WhatsApp group where we're trying to mobilize as many people as possible.
Okay.
We were thinking of doing it on Monday or Tuesday. But my idea is this: the more we are, the more impact we're going to have. We have, we as somebody said, we want to attract the media. RUTO was here about a month ago. People have been coming out in London, in Paris. Yesterday they were out in Paris, Los Angeles. But my idea is this: if we can come out in droves, this will force the media to notice us, and this thing will go far. Because
the thing is that you were speaking like this is not the first protest we've had. We had a protest last weekend on Sunday.
So
it's okay. So what I'm telling you is that maybe you guys have learned about it now, and I don't know why, because maybe none of the people where you are follow any of the people around us who have been talking about it on social media. But we've been talking about it on social media about the protests in DC. And there are still some more protests which are planning in the coming weeks, which we can, maybe Val and Ali can talk more about them. But we will try to talk about the one that's coming on Sunday, but we have more that are coming out in the coming week. So it's not that there's not been any communication. Let's just say that you guys didn't know about it, because you cannot just wake up one day and go and protest in DC. You have to get a permit to protest there. So it's something that takes planning.
Aya, let's give Gidraff a chance to finish his statement. Gidraff.
Yes. So I would like to just asking if there's probably somebody I can liaise with, a number I can call and liaise with, so that with my group here, we're able to also organize accordingly.
Okay, sawa. Gidraff, I'm gonna give you my direct contact, and you can call me, and then or you can text me, and then we can liaise from there.
Is this a good number? The 5483 number, is that a good number?
Yes, that's my number.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll give it to Ali, and then expect a text from him.
Yeah. Expect a text from me after the show, and hopefully, I know you said you guys were planning. You guys were planning for Monday, but hopefully, mobilize people to come on Sunday, because we are planning another one. Yeah, mobilize people to come for this one on Sunday.
I'm not sleeping. This is it. I really want to wait for your number so that we can agree on a few things, and then I'm going out to my guys.
Okay, and then because we plan another one, which has not been finalized yet, but we plan another one at the International Monetary Fund in DC on Friday, on Friday the 5th, which is between July the 4th and the Saturday. So we are planning one on that Friday.
If you wanna make me mad, just mention I'm there, man.
Okay. Oh, very good. We want you to be mad. We want you to come with that madness.
Nini huku nakuja na rungu jamaa.
Okay, sawa. Kuja na rungu.
Thank you, Gidraff.
Thank you so much, Gidraff. And please share this stream to all other people in Harrisburg. Hata ukiona Amish people wamepita hivi, because huko kuna Amish people wengi, unauliza kama wame reject their finance bill. Because everybody has to reject their finance bill. Sawa. Asante sana, Gidraff. Thank you so much. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. That is so amazing. You see, this is how this movement that was started by Gen Zs is unifying people. Pennsylvania ni hapa karibu, but now see ni Gen Z na zillennials. Na mix ya Gen Z na zillennials.
Ni mashakura.
Yeah, ni mashakura. That one right there. But now you see, it's very interesting, because we in DC, I always tell people, the Kenyans who live in the DMV, we have a very heavy responsibility, because we are the only Kenyans across the whole world who live a stone throw away from these organizations and these entities that are enforcing, that are enabling RUTO to enforce these oppressive tax laws on us. So we have a very heavy responsibility. There are so many other Kenyans out there who are relying on us to get our voices heard. So please, you have to come out. And by the DMV, I don't know, I don't only mean DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I'm talking about Delaware. I'm talking about West Virginia. I'm talking about Pennsylvania. Like Pennsylvania is also a very drivable distance to the DMV. Anywhere, North Carolina, anywhere within a 5-hour radius. If you're within a 5-hour radius of DC, you need to show up. So I hope all people in all these other states are tuned in, and the more we are, the more likely we are to attract, local media attention. I mean, of course, we've had international media, Voice of America, and of course, local media back home, Citizen, KTN, have been covering this, but we want this now to be covered on mainstream American media, because that's what will make the lawmakers out here shake. So now, I want to come back to the studio, and want to come back to you, Val. at what point, because people are asking questions here, and actually before I ask this question, watu Facebook watanikula because sijasoma nini zao, sijasoma comments zao. Sambaza podcast anasema, I remember in 2009, I remember in 2000 when Ibrahim Isaac told us Kenyans here in Dallas to chill out on voting. I think he meant Isaac Hassan.
Isaac Hassan, the former,
the former IBC commissioner, the former IBC chairman. I remember in 2009 when Isaac Hassan told us Kenyans here in Dallas to chill out on voting, and this Manenos naturally Stena, we missed a cycle of voting. We actually missed 2 cycles. We missed 2013 and we missed 2017.
Yes.
And then Kenya Mashinani anasema Gen Z, shukran. You have done what we failed. Don't lose the mantle and give Ruto to recraft and maneuver.
Time.
Yeah. So Sambaza says how it hurts over here is that anything that happens in Kenya will always come back to us. If, for example, the NHIF does not work, then you will be forced to add money to help out.
I've always said that.
Lucinita Masinde, we need diaspora voting. We can get consular services successfully here. Why not organize services for diaspora registration for voters? And then Stephen JJ, wanajua kucheza hii game, he knew. Gidraf anasema, do you guys truly realize the anger on the ground? Thousands and thousands of Kenyans in the Northeast want to attend the protests, demos, but mobilization is very disjointed. A small group in NYC, another in DC, another in Philly, not very effective. We need thousands to troop into DC in such a way that will shake things up. And we are trying to coordinate with other organizers.
Because like New York can do the New York consulate.
The New York consulate. We have the UN there.
Yeah,
we have the United
there.
Nations
You can
there.
do it over there.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, this is something that we've tried. It's not the easiest things, like coordinating between different states. We've had both good and bad experiences that we don't want to talk about, but we are trying to coordinate, and it's very important. Now that we have Gidraf, we're going to coordinate with Philly people. San Francisco contacted us, and San Francisco is also having one this coming Sunday too. Udimadenge says, this guy is very smart. Very few guys read about Sanzu. I think he's talking about Kelvin Pale. Akitupatia zinaitwaje 48 laws of power. Ama laws of 48 power. Ama what is it? 48
the 48 laws of power.
The 48 laws of power. That one.
And here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
His initials are KK.
But okay.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
I saw what you did there. And then let me see.
Pole.
Yeah, so hapa Afro-Jamaican anasema there are tons of descendants of enslaved Africans clamoring to move to Kenya and will open businesses. So yeah, so that's another big thing. And I think also I saw something in Canada, Afro-Jamaican. If I get it, I'm gonna send it to you, because I think you can come out for that Canadian protest. And then
yeah, there's one in Toronto. Yes. Tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I think so.
Yeah. Okay, sawa. And then let me go to
I'm getting reports over here. New York canceled the event. Okay, come on, a war report.
So was the one that was scheduled for Thursday? Was because there was one that was scheduled for yesterday. So I don't know if that's the one that was cancelled.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Or you can tell us more about that.
Joanna, war report.
Yeah. Now going back to YouTube, watu wa YouTube sijawasahau, but watu wa Facebook sasa wanapeleka mbio. So YouTube guys, please comment. I have Abella Heru says the evolution of humanity says that Africa reaffirms that she's continuing her rise from the ashes. What the setbacks of the moment, nothing can stop us now. Africa shall be at peace soon. Hanigal Njeri anasema, great informed guests, they make us feel proud. And then Alenoti says, if only we can be this united in the ballot box. I think that's a direction that we should think of taking. And then I have Rugiatu Koroma. She says, well-informed analysis, good team. And then Stephen Okoth says, one mic, those brown envelopes is the reason Dangote did not open a cement factory in Kenya. He was surprised that we were more corrupt than Nigeria. Yes,
I remember that one.
Yeah, and then Jacob Korir says, for us to really handle corruption, we need to know numbers. Difference between billions and millions. And
Joseph
Korir father says, how can one person get 1 billion shillings tender really? Are we serious right now? And Anthony Carrier says salute to OneMic.
OneMicShow.
Yeah.
Now I was gonna say pertaining to Jacob Koreed's comment.
Yeah.
What and listening to Latif Spice, he was talking to the economics guy. He was talking to Arun Cheriot, and I think it boiled down. He boiled it down to this: it's public management. It's managing the public finance, meaning getting audits. Tuanze na audits.
Yeah.
That's it.
With the debts. Now,
that's it. Yeah, madeni. Because our champion Jimmy Wanjigi
deni wanalipa. Hatuna hizo deni mingi.
Hiyo deni ni gani?
Hizo deni kuna madeni zinaitwa odious debts. Odious debts are debts that are being paid but you don't know what you did. Imagine Citibank or Bank of America is sending you a credit card bill but you don't remember ever spending that money.
I never swiped for this ticket.
Yeah, I never swiped for this for these tickets, or I never swiped for this $50,000 watch. But wanakuletea bill, ndo hii hapa bill na ulipe
$4,000 bill.
Which is what, and I believe when that audit is done, mambo itachemuka. Mambo itachemuka, and we're going to be in a very
but
different
right
place.
now,
yeah,
mambo imechemka.
Right
now,
yeah,
imechemka.
So let's go back to Val. And Val, I was asking you earlier, at what point did the debate change? Because initially it was reject the finance bill, but now RUTO must go is becoming louder and louder.
The
and
clarion
louder.
call.
Yeah. So at what point do you feel like things shifted?
I think the protests were like almost more than a week, right?
Yes.
And after the second reading, they still passed the bill. And on Tuesday, I feel like on Tuesday after the deaths, that's when, I mean, the chanting was there of RUTO must go.
Yeah.
But haikuwa kubwa hivyo sana.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't that loud.
No.
Until Tuesday. Tuesday, that's when everything, like the whole dynamic shifted. Everything went ballistic. After the murders, the accusations, as in, you're the president. Unafaa kuwa, you're the one who's supposed to be uniting all of us. But let me tell you, RUTO is very good with games. I personally think that your bread, sanitary, and diapers, they were personally, ziliekwa hapo kwa bill on purpose so that he can take them out to be seen as a savior.
A Trojan horse.
He wasn't expecting that people will see through that. And then now, given when Robo was mentioning the atrocities, so sahi tumekaa tumeanza kuona kumbe Uhuru alituambia. But we didn't listen to Uhuru when he was telling us. He warned us.
Some people were punishing him. Yeah. There was a community that was punishing him. Yeah.
Don't go far.
Yeah.
Part of Mount Kenya
was punishing him.
Let me tell you right now.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Where
we are.
Unajua ni nini ili happen Mount Kenya? I think Kenya ili happen ni tuli lose trust na Uhuru.
Yeah.
So by the time he was telling us the truth, we were not trusting him anymore.
The problem came is when he decided to shikilia to come out and say that I am going to support this mzee.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
The minute. No. Let's get it. Because remember, there were different factions. There were the factions of Kumi na Kumi, and because now we have committed 10, we have to keep our promise of 10. That was okay. Like, you know, you're keeping your promise. But the guy who has been managing, who most of the mountain considers the guy who came through clutch, right? The guy who came through clutch is telling you hapa iko madogodanio. And guys are like, where there's no, because remember, it has always been faux pas to support Raila.
Yes.
In Central. There's this whole thing,
and it's been for a very long time.
Yes. But even with that, in the small barazas and small kamkunjis of the mountain, and some of the people that we are talking to, some people who are ardent, and some guys who are who blame their torture on Raila, doing the attempting the coup.
Yeah.
It was those guys come out and say hapana, we're gonna go with Raila. Na unaambia watu wanakataa. Tugokera tene.
Oh yes, I agree with that.
Right now, vindu vichenjanga. So
Yeah.
that was the problem. But also remember that when you kick him out and he did this, there was almost a million plus. The percentage of voters jumped. And not, I'm not going to say unheard of, but yes, compared to other times,
Yeah.
Raila was going to get. Then you compare to what the amount of whatever,
Yeah.
that was huge.
It was a huge difference.
But all because waliuzi wa sera za
Hustler narrative.
not even that.
Yeah.
Dynasty.
Hustler versus dynasty.
Where.
Okay. Yeah. So back to you, Val. We're talking about like when the debate shifted from reject finance bill to RUTO must go.
Yeah,
That's what
so
we're talking about.
I feel like on Tuesday, that's when everything hit the fan.
What was happening on Tuesday?
After the massacre. And then the president gave that speech.
Treasonous criminals.
Yes, he called people treasonous criminals, and he told deployed the KDF and told them to use full force. That's when everybody was like, wow, this is really the guy. This is the guy after the Kiambaa massacre. This is the guy who, when the children, when he was grabbing land, ile shule alikuwa na grab. You remember that story?
The one kina Boni were fighting for.
Exactly. So hizo vitu ndio zilianza kuja kwa akili za watu wanaona hala. And then when you look at this, when it comes to Mlima Kenya, and this is a story for another day, I think Ruto was purposely trying to finish Mlima Kenya. When you think about it, like your story, the Gema Mira, who hike Mira, most of the farming comes from Mlima Kenya and Mount Kenya, and then you're doing all these tax hikes and things like that, and it's atrocious. So
and the funny thing, the place where he was using that hustler term the most was in the cities and in Mlima Kenya. Yeah, when he would go to Rift Valley, he would not call his people hustlers. So that was a very interesting dynamic in how he was doing that.
And every dictator always has a slogan. Let's look at Mussolini, Lenin, Hitler. Watu wanakuanga na hiyo slogan. They unite everybody first with a common cause, and they try to resemble themselves with the people who are going through that. And then once they've achieved what they've achieved, now they show us their true colors.
Make America great again.
So
oh, sorry.
MAGA.
And that's what we are seeing and we are witnessing right now. I feel hapo ndio kila kitu ili change. Like me, before the statement, I was just like, reject the finance bill, RUTO must go. But now after Tuesday, there's no way we should have this man in power, because if we give him the opportunity, right now we decide no more protests, atarudi ata format game yake, he will know how to do this even better. He will find ways to silence people and do a crackdown.
Now, you talked about even the military deployment. There was an issue that people were asking, is this legal? Because I already saw Gen Zs, analyzing it very deeply on Twitter and other places. But I remember what happened is that we saw a Gazette notice first before Parliament went and did a quick sitting. And then all of a sudden, we are seeing, the military being deployed in the streets. And the courts gave him I think a couple of days to formalize, what exactly he's doing. So where is the legality issue on this aspect of deploying military? We actually saw KDF on the streets in Nairobi, which is, it was a spectacle. No, this is not something that we ever expected to see in Kenya. I think the last time this happened was during the 1982 coup. So what's the legality of this?
I don't think there's any legality, because we've witnessed a lot of breaching of the constitution. I think the constitutions, but I feel like in the constitution it says that parliament is the one that needs to pass the motion of
Yes.
the KDF. It
Yes.
has to go through parliament. It's
Yes.
just like this finance bill. There was really no legalities when you think about it. In a finance bill inatengenezwa kwanza, si ndio? Inaenda parliament, inarudi kwa, alafu inafaa irudi kwa public participation,
Yeah.
alafu kwa committee tena, alafu I think there's another process, then it becomes which one?
Reading.
Yes,
The
and
reading, yeah.
yes, the reading, and then now it goes back to the committee and it becomes part of the appropriations bill, alafu sa inaekwa kwa budget. So I don't think some of those criterias were followed. I don't know them in line, but
Yeah.
we've witnessed that. The constitution needs to be upheld in high regard. Lakini in Kenya, there is really no checks and balances, and our judiciary is weak, and that's where we are failing.
Yeah, you
Even
know,
parliament itself is weak.
Yes.
Because I think judiciary, that's the next place that Gen Zs need to go and just salimia a few people there and just remind them that you're supposed to be doing your job. Roba, with what has happened, I mean, I know there's a clamor for RUTO must go. There's a chance that, you know, like maybe he might survive this and stay. But do you think what has happened might now force the government to change behavior from what they've been doing right now? Or do you think they'll wait for this to calm down and then they'll go back to business as usual? Roba, what's your assessment?
Yeah, my response to that is I don't know if you guys watched the address he gave. I think it was 2 p.m. our time here, 9 p.m. in Kenya on Tuesday.
Yeah.
After everything that happened in Parliament, after all the shootings by the sniper, and I think the Githurai massacre had just happened, or it was about to happen.
It was happening the night after.
Or it was the night after, yeah. And he came out.
It was the night of, not the night of.
Night of, not night after. Night
So it was happening that same night, and he came out and called us criminals and said these are treasonous actions, and that he'll use the full power or the full resources of the government to crack down on the criminals. I don't think the government is going to make the best decision in this situation. I think they'll try and divide the youth, and this is, I guess, one of the talking points hopefully we'll get to. But I think they'll try and divide the youth, especially the ones mobilizing people back home. Just divide and conquer strategy. So just try and pay off others that they can pay off to confuse the protests. Silence others where they can be silenced, whether it's physically or kuweka ndani kiasi and then kuachilia. I don't think they'll do the right thing. From what I'm seeing from this government and Ruto, I don't think he will go the right way. I surely hope he could, or he does, because the country does need a leader who's competent and who can change Kenya for the better. But I honestly have very little hope in after that speech. Even after the next one alitoa the next day akiringa ati ametuma watu Qatar na Saudi, like it's a good thing. Vijana wataki kwenda Saudi na Qatar.
No.
We are creative, we are skilled, we want to build our own country. Even the same for all of us.
Yeah.
I believe all of us have a dream to go back home and build our nation.
Yeah.
I'd much rather work with my people, I do software engineering, so I'd much rather work with my own people creating pieces of software. That's how America got to where it is. The companies like Microsoft, Apple, zilianza juu ya watu kujenga start their businesses, and that goes to the other tax conversation that we're having, that they need to reduce taxes so entrepreneurship can grow and businesses can grow and capitalism can start maturing, because we're not even at that stage to be taxing people as much as we do. But that's another conversation. There's so many conversations to have, but the point is I have zero faith in this government currently. I don't think Ruto and the government will make the best decision, and that's why my stance bado ni Ruto must go.